What's up, everybody? So I have been having troubles with getting my edited videos uploaded to YouTube for some reason. At the very end of each video, it just keeps crashing. So this video you might see before anything else. So just FYI, this video is going to show things that are really far ahead from what you guys have seen. And if I can get those other videos uploaded, then they will just fill in the gap pretty much. So sorry about that. So if you're confused, this is going to be a big jump ahead as I've moved further along than what I have in the last video that I've posted. I think the last video I posted, we were doing chrome lettering on the back side of the van here, and we're a couple, like almost a week and a half away from that, when that video was done, to where this one's going to be. So just FYI, this one's going to be leaps and bounds ahead. So I'm going to kind of just go back and act like you guys have never seen this and walk you through what I've done and show you guys where I'm at right now. So here it is, the side of the van that has the sun and the palm tree and the flying eyeball and all that stuff. Is everything has been cleaned and ready for clear coat. Now keep in mind that this is going to be a multiple step process with clear coating. So what's going to happen here, since I'm going to have to do multiple sessions of clear coat, and that reason is because we're doing some pinstriping on this. So I want to bury everything and then go through, sand the clear back down and go back through and pinstripe everything. That way it's nice and smooth. And then we'll do one final session of clear coat to bury everything. And then it's going to go back to the original painter that painted this van so he can finish up everything else. So it's going to be somewhat unfinished is what I'm trying to get across. So just keep that in mind. It's not totally finished, but it is ready for that first round of clear coat. So here's the side with the skeleton playing the guitar. He came out super cool. I'm really liking his neck area right here. It looks, just the shading and the lighting and all that stuff came out really, really awesome in this thing. The customer's super happy with it. The customer has seen most of this already, and so it has been approved. So I have been moving further along than what you guys have seen. I don't think you guys seen the inside of the circle. I think I've started some of it with you. I can't remember what video that is that's uploading right now. It might be this video right here where I'm doing the circle and finishing up the skull. But this is the mini mural that's inside this blazing sun here. And all the elements was picked out from the owner of what he wanted inside of this. And then I just threw my little spin on it. So we got the original house, their house they had. We have the Golden Gate Bridge, because that's where the band originated from. I put another flying eyeball in there. You want another flying eyeball, and then the train. Everybody knows what that train's from. And then I put the lightning bolt inside the train, and then I put a couple bears. One's fishing, and then yeah. So the thing that's not fully done with this, besides the pinstriping and everything, is once I get this done clear coated and sanded flat, we're going to add some color in here. We're just going to really barely highlight stuff. We're not going to blast everything with color. We're just going to highlight. He wants the bears to be, I think it was purple, yellow, and orange. It might be blue and orange. I think it's purple, blue, and orange is what he wanted the color of the bears to be. And we're just going to barely highlight that stuff. I'm going to highlight a little bit here and there, but this is what it turned out to be. It turned out really cool. And then the smoke from the train, I'm going to tie-dye that. So I'm going to pick a couple colors, and we're going to kind of tie-dye the sky with it. And then that's going to be after it's clear coated. So, but other than that, it turned out really awesome. Everything in here was pretty much stencil created or free-handed. The bears, I free-handed the bears in there. The background and everything, I free-handed all the trees, the water, the Golden Gate Bridge, I free-handed. The only three things that I used for like a template was a train, the eyeball, and then the house to get all those details that were correct. Other than that, it's all been free-handed in there. So yeah, that's this side. So like I said, it's pretty much ready for that first round of clear coat, so we can pinstripe it, finish the colors off, and do any touch-ups. At that point, that's another thing. When I'm doing multiple rounds of clear coat, if anything needs to be touched up, I can do that in between that. So you want to make sure that your body and everything is clean as far as like the original blue. You don't want to have overspray everywhere. You want to clean that up before you clear coat it, because that clear coat's going to lock that in there. You're not going to be able to fix it. But everything else that needs to be fixed, you can go ahead and fix it in that second session before you clear it again for the final end. So that's just a little tip. A lot of guys do it when you're multi-layering things. A lot of guys will use intercoat clear for each layer. I don't. I just let it sit and dry, then I'll tape back over it. I've never really had any issues of paint peeling or anything like that. As long as your surface is prepped right, you'll have no issues at all. So yeah, that's kind of why we're doing that. Not just because of the pinstriping, but you can also do your touch-ups and anything that needs to be kind of fixed at that point before you final clear it. So we are on to this side now. So you guys have seen the 3D, you know, chrome lettering is what we call it. Now, other thing I kind of added in there, I kind of frosted the windows on the van. That way they're not just silver. He wanted some depth to it. And then I put a little bit of shading underneath the tires. And then the lettering itself, I went around and did a very, like a darker, almost blackish blue. And I just kind of highlighted the outside surroundings of those letters. You can kind of see it in the Kokomo right there. And it came out really sweet. He's really happy with it. He saw this already, super happy with it. He even thought about adding some blue and stuff into the van, which, I mean, we can do that if we need to, but I like it the way it is. So we'll do all those maybe things after we clear it the first time, because the reason why that it's a good idea, and especially if you're, you know, you got people that you're doing work for that are just kind of unsure, they might be okay with it, but if you can notice that they're kind of unsure, after you clear it and sand it back down, and when you're doing those touch-ups or pinstriping or whatever you may be doing on that second round, those are the times where you can kind of play with it more, because if you do mess it up, or, you know, the customer doesn't like, or you don't like it, you can just take a reducer and you can wipe it off. Now, if I would do it right now and then the customer's like, oh, I don't like it, well, it's gonna be really difficult to clean that up and get away with it. So that's another good point, is if you're wanting to kind of test something that you're not sure of, do it after you've already put clear coat on it, because it'll just, you know, it's easier to clean up. You don't have to worry about messing anything that you already done up. So that's another little tip about doing things that you're not really sure about doing. So that's when we're going to start playing around with all that other stuff. So, but I have been busy, as you guys can see, laying out the design that goes around this. Now, he was really awesome. He really liked where he got this idea, and I thought it was really cool, because to me it looks kind of like bones, but it's not really bones. It's just a graphic. You might not be able to tell right now what it is, because it's all, you know, I cut it all out already. But what it is that it's this border of this poster. He really liked this area. So I was like, cool, we can just, you know, we'll fly with that, you know. So pretty much just went in there, put, you know, my gold mask down, traced it out with chalk, then I went back over it with a marker, a Sharpie, and then I just freehand cut it out. And then at the very end of this, to kind of tie it off, I just pretty much winged it and made something really tasteful, to where it kind of just ties it off with the license plate frame. That way it's not going everywhere. It's got an end to the beginning. And then the other side, I really just winged it. I didn't really have a reference, but I wanted this side to kind of be the same as this side, just a little bit different. And he had originally thought about doing the same idea that I did inside of here, like the same kind of graphic, which was a great idea. But once he pointed out that he really liked this, I was like, well, let's just, you know, not really mimic it, but let's do something that's gonna tastefully be the same on both sides. So I took the original first half of this one and I flopped it. And then I just, from this point down here and down here, I really just made my own thing. And I wanted to end the same way that I did down over here. Even though it's not the same sizes or anything like that, I didn't want to have a sharp edge. I didn't want to have something different. Even though it is something different, I wanted to have the same thing, so we tied it off in the same graphic down there. So it took me a little bit to figure that out, draw it out, but that's why I use a lot of chalk. I use these chalk pencils. They're really great because you can lay your vinyl masking down. This is FBS gold mask, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about here. FBS gold mask, and the blue mask is really awesome to use. I think the blue is a little bit more expensive because it can actually stretch around curves really good. This gold mask is what I usually use all the time. It's really thin, and you can peel it up and replace it if you need to, if you're doing smaller pieces. Big chunks is a little bit harder, but it's not really tacky. You can put it over artwork once it's dry, and you won't have any issues ripping it up. It's just really awesome stuff, and you can just chalk draw right on top of it, and if you don't like it, you can just wipe it off. You can also do this on clear coat if you really wanted to, something that's already clear coated. I know I mentioned that before in the videos, but this is a really awesome way to do graphics. And then once you're done with that, you figure out the design you want. You just take a regular old Sharpie, like this orange one I got here. I use black and orange. And you just follow that chalk outline and just take your time and outline it. And then you got a custom made graphic that you've done yourself. So, and anytime, I know I've mentioned this multiple times, but anytime you're cutting directly on a surface, if you're not using your plotter machine on your computer, if you're doing it by hand, get you an X-Acto knife with the brand new blade, and all you got to do is barely hold on to it, and it will slice right through that stuff, because this stuff is super thin. It'll slice right through tape really easily too. So as long as you have a fresh blade, you do not need to put any pressure down on top of it, because you do not want to cut into the clear coat. When you do that, you have issues, because when you start putting paint over top of it, it may bubble up underneath of it, it may react. So you do not want to slice into your clear coat or your paint job. So be really easy on the knife when it's a fresh blade, but you won't have to have any pressure if it is brand new. So that's another key tip. But yeah, other than that, I am ready to start. I'm going to take a picture of this, send it to the customer, and then I am ready to start. I'm going to mask all this off, and I'm going to put plastic over it, because we are going to be base coating this stuff, these graphics, in silver first. I'm going to do a little bit of silver on it, and then he wanted to use this blue that I had in here, so we're going to be using that as well, to kind of finish the highlights and things like that. We're going to make it look pretty cool. I'm not going to be blasting it with that blue. I'm just going to do the highlights with it around each turns, you know, kind of inside of here. We're going to do some highlights with that blue and things like that, and then we're going to take a darker grayish black color and we're going to start shadowing everything, and then we'll do some highlights with some white to tie it all in together. So it's going to be really cool. I'm going to take a picture of this and the customer, and then move on with masking this thing up. It's kind of dark back here. I don't really have a good light to show you guys, but based everything in silver, and then I went in with really overreduced blue from the side of the van, and then I went in and just started outlining everything, and then I went in and kind of added all these free-handed, and then added some little bit of stylistic curves. That way it kind of looks like it's rolling. And then after that, I took some really over-reduced white, and I just went in here and just kind of barely hit everything. So now what I'm about to do is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to add some of this blue into my airbrush, I want to just lightly dust over it. And then what that's going to do is going to kind of give it like a really light blue. It's going to take away some of that silver. And then I'll go back in and I'll do my highlights in a silver. And after that, it should be done. We'll peel it off and then we'll do all the shadowing and maybe do a white highlight at the top of everything to kind of tie it all off, and then it should be done. So it is the next day. I stayed up pretty late knocking this thing out, got everything finalized, shadows, highlights, all that good stuff, took the tape off. So now we're gonna get to look at it with everything off of it. I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like and walk you through the rest of the process that I did. So here's everything. I think came out really cool. It's something that you're not gonna see anywhere else. You can tell how those shadows and the shading and all the highlights kind of pop that out. It's kind of dark back here. I don't really have any lights pointing towards the back of this van as I moved it, but give you guys a good idea of everything that's inside of this. It's all done in metallic colors. Like obviously silver's got metallic in it. This blue that I use has metallic in it. And then for the shadows that may seem really dark in some areas, since I wanted to punch those out, really give it some depth. You kind of see it right through here, all underneath of this. It is done with a little bit of black and a very little, I mean I'm talking very little black. And then I took a blue that I had mixed up already. It's just a weird mixture of a bunch of blues I had left over, and I just dumped it in one thing and I just used it. It was a little bit of a darker blue. I'll have to show you guys what I'm talking about as far as the blue goes so you guys can get a good idea. And then I just, like I said, I added a little bit of black in it. So this is the blue that I used and a little bit of black in it. And I over reduced it. That way it wasn't so powerful, because you want to really be able to build these edges up as far as your shadowing and everything to make them look legit. And you just go over it and you start building it up and make them as dark as you need to. And yeah, it makes it look like a really dark blue against this other blue. If you would have took just straight black, it would have been kind of like the overspray of it just looks kind of brown against this blue. Because black, when it's broken down, is not straight black. It's kind of got like a brownish tan color to it. And if you're doing it over white, you can really tell, because it just turns like a brownish tan. And it just looks really ugly. So you gotta be really careful. So what a lot of us do is we stick some blue in it to kind of tone down that brownness to it. So it gets rid of all that, so you're able to really let it blend in and make it look like these colors that we got going on here. I think I knocked it out of the park. You guys let me know what you think. I sent a picture, like I said, I sent that picture to the customer when it was all pretty much knifed out without any paint on it. And he was talking about knocking this out from up. He liked everything else, but for some reason he didn't like that, where the kind of the wings are. But I didn't get his text until later when I had it all pretty much finished up. So I'm gonna have him look at it and see for himself. But I think it looks really cool. Like I said, it's really unique. You're not going to see it anywhere else. The only thing that I might do, if he's game, is since this is all silver, might take that same blue that I did the outline in, and kind of outline all this stuff to kind of make it all blend in together, because that silver is really bright right now. So that's the only thing I'm thinking about doing. But I'm going to get his approval first and see what he says. But that's the only thing that I would come to mind to do, even though I like it the way it is. You know, it really stands out and it's something unique. and you're not going to see it anywhere else. And when it's cleared outside, this silver is going to really pop. So it's pretty dark in here, and obviously it's not clear coated yet, but once this thing is clear coated, it's really going to stand out and push itself out, especially out in the sun. It's going to, I mean, it's that silver that I use has a really, I wouldn't say it's a mini flake by any means, but it's a larger flake than what's in any other color you can get as far as just the silver goes. Obviously you can add your own mini flake to silvers and make them a little bit bigger, but just straight out of the can from House of Color, Silver Max is awesome. It's got that really, it almost looks like chrome if you would spray a car in it and clear it and stick it outside. It's got so much brightness to it, and it just makes it almost look like chrome. So it's pretty cool stuff. So I love using it. I love to see it when it's clear coated and doing, you know, graphics like this on it. Obviously that silver that's in this Stoplight City Vans logo is not the same silver, so you're not going to get that same shade of silver as that was already done. This was already pretty much painted on the vehicle and clear coated inside of it when I got it, so there was no other way to do it. So that's the only thing I'm thinking about doing, is taking that blue and just kind of highlighting it a little bit. So we'll see what he says, but we're moving right along. Next up is going to be this side of the van, where we got the Grateful Dead logo, lightning bolt with the both Stella blue and touch of gray lyrics on each side. I've already prepped this area right here, so the customer wanted to add this on. It's one thing that he requested. If you know anything about these older vans, if you grew up in this area and they were custom painted, they always had a name. So we went through things, and he wants to name this van Touch of Gray. That was the whole process of this whole paint job, was to do everything in grays, and obviously it kicks back to the song Touch of Gray as well. So that's what he's nicknaming this van, which I think is pretty cool. It definitely needed something on this side. Without, you know, just the logo, it's okay, but with adding something else to it, I think it's going to really sell this thing. And plus, like I said, if you're around this time era, early late 70s, these vans always was nicknamed, and they had them hand painted on the side of it. So like I said, I've already got it prepped. Obviously you can see that it's going to go from pretty much right here, and we're going to feed it all the way to like right here. So it's like 50 inches right there, which is going to make the letters like 6 inches tall, 8 inches tall. So it's going to take up majority of this side right here, and it's going to kind of go at an angle. And what we're going to try to pull off here is got to find that poster. Oh, it's right here. So this poster, this is the lettering that he wanted to do. So we're going to pull this thing off. We're going to do this type of font and touch of gray, and we're going to do like silvers, grays. He mentioned that he wanted the original blue van color to be either the top or the bottom blue. So we're probably going to do it the bottom blue, then, you know, do a lighter blue at the top of it to kind of hone it all in. But like the background, all this background, you know, the shadowing part of the lettering is all going to be done in gray or and silver, so it's going to really pop out on the side of this thing. So that's the next video. I'm going to end this one right here. My battery's about to die on my GoPro, so thanks for joining along. And like I said at the beginning of this video is probably going to be out before anything else. So if you know, sorry about that, but if I get the other videos to upload, they'll just be something first. Remind you that to watch those as well, but it is in place of, you know, before this video comes out. So just keep that in mind when it does come out. And I'll kind of put something in the title, that way you guys know the other videos were supposed to go before this one. But hopefully they work out and I can actually post them, you guys can see them, because we did some really cool stuff on the other side that I want to show you guys. So yeah, you can learn a lot from it. So I really want to get this posted, but I'm going to put this one out, try to get it done today, so that way you guys will have something in the meantime, because it's been a minute since I posted something. So appreciate you guys watching, and stay tuned until the next one.